Deeper learning is when you're actually able to get the kids to actively engage with what they're working with. I'm using HMH into reading to teach my students the reading curriculum. They're working on folk tales, legends, and fairy tales to try to get that deeper understanding. We're trying to dive a little bit deeper with theme and be able to explain the theme using text evidence. And they were also trying to make that connection within their own lives. I think you're getting them actively involved, getting them excited for their learning, making them explain their thinking, and just really getting hands-on with the learning and making those deep connections with their own lives. Why did the author ask us these specific questions? Or why is this the text that we're using to respond to the concept question? Why are we doing all of these activities anyway? All right, we're going to start off with our objectives so that we know what we are working on today. You ready?
That's us.
Will be.
Will be.
Able to.
Able to.
Identify and explain.
Identify and explain.
The theme of the folktale.
The theme of the folktale.
Why the sky is far away.
Why the sky is far away.
By using is.
By using is.
And the conjunction because.
And the conjunction because.
All right, so now we're going to talk about our focus question for the week. Why is it important to pass stories down to the next generation? So I want you to turn and talk with your groups. Why do you think it is important for us to pass stories down to the next generation?
I think that my favorite was because it's different now than it was back then, and it might be important to pass that down to see
if my
like what your family did when they were at school.
And then when little babies grow up, they can tell their kids, and they keep going.
Or you can just tell like your cousins, and then your cousins will tell their cousins, and then it keeps going.
Yeah, it keeps going.
And then all of your cousins will know the story.
Yeah.
Domingo, do you mind sharing? I heard you say something that was amazing.
It is important to pass down stories to the next generation so the kids can know what their mom did when her mom was younger.
Good. Can you add that to our board? Jose, do you mind sharing what you were saying with your group?
Children that are about to grow up, when they grow up, they can tell them their cousins and children, and then they will learn their lessons and the stories.
Yeah, so I think that's super important what he's saying, right? We know that we have books that we can learn lessons from, but there's also stories that we hear from our family members that we can learn lessons from those too, right? Good. Can you add that, please? Or can you read this in your best teacher voice?
How does the author's depiction of the sky differ from the sky we observe in real life?
Moving along, we're going to quickly go through our vocabulary words. All right, our first word is tempting. Can you say tempting?
Tempting.
I want you to turn and tell your partner one word, something that might be super tempting for you.
Books.
All right, great. Guys are on me in two. Somebody tell me one thing that might be super tempting, Briella.
Your mom would say no.
Yeah, you might really want like a pet or a dog or something like that, and you might be really tempted. And what are you gonna do if you really want something? Are you just gonna ask one time? No, what are you gonna do?
Ask many times.
You're probably gonna ask a lot of times. All right, this is our big word. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I want you to just look at this photograph right here. I want you to think about it for a second. 5 seconds. What kind of feelings do you get from that photograph? What kinds of feelings do you get from that photograph, Marina Lise?
Nervous.
Nervous. What makes you nervous about this photograph?
Like the clouds are kind of like starting to get storm.
Yeah, it looks like a storm's coming. The clouds are very what?
Gray.
Dark. They're gray, right? You see all those dark colors. You know that there's probably some rain. It does look like a thunderstorm, right? So what are some other feeling words we might get out of that? Izzy?
Really nervous.
Nervous, right? What else? One more. Scared, right? So I'm going to play this really quick and tell me, does it match the picture? Here we go. How do you feel? Who can say that word nice and loud for me? Who can try to say that word nice and loud for me? Nevaeh?
Ominously.
Ominously. Can everybody say it with Nevaeh?
Ominously.
Ominously. So if something acts ominously, it makes you think that something bad might happen. So what's the bad thing that might be happening here, Angel?
Thunderstorm.
A thunderstorm. Awesome job, guys. So I'm going to have you work with your partners. I'm going to have you jot down some notes in your textbook. Okay, you're going to be comparing and contrasting the sky that we know in real life and the sky that you see in the textbook. I want you to use the text, but I also want you to focus on the illustrations and what you see happening here. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. Yeah. All right, so you're going to turn and talk with your group, okay? And you're going to share how it's the same and how it's different, okay? And then we're going to share some.
We have thunder, but our cloud doesn't show.
The cloud is different from the cloud we see in real life because the cloud in the story has like an expression of like madness, but our cloud doesn't have any expression or face.
The cloud is different from the story because it talks and our sky's not
That's a big part of it, right? What are some things that you notice that might be the same? How is this sky the same as our sky?
You can tell by the films when it gets really dark. By the clouds, that means feeling angry because we are taking the food from the cloud.
Okay, so our clouds sometimes also get dark, right? That's a similarity. Good, you can get a pom-pom for that. What's something that's different, Aura?
My partner Leah said that she thinks that is different because people are grabbing food from the sky and we can't do that in real life.
I agree. Can you get 2 pom-poms for that? Thank you for sharing what your partner was saying. So we don't get our food from the sky, do we? No. Can I just reach up into the sky and grab a plate of food?
No.
No, so that's very different, right? Good. Isabella, can you explain what you were thinking with your group?
All her sky and the story sky both give out strong winds when they're trying to head, and one thing that's different that is this guy has a face to give out emotions and ours doesn't.
I like that. So that's something huge that you said. You made that connection that this guy has an angry looking face because they're trying to show you the emotions that the sky is feeling in the text, right? Why do you think they probably use lightning bolts? Antonio, why would they use lightning bolts instead of like a rainbow or maybe rain?
They the author use made lightning bolts because some lightning bolts scare people away.
So if they're using lightning bolts, what is he trying to make the people feel? Scared. And why does he want to make them feel scared?
So they can stop taking the food.
So they can stop taking the food away. And he wants to show the people that he's feeling very what? Mad and angry, right? You guys are amazing with that. You are going to be using our mini chart paper today, and you're going to work with your groups to try to see if you can determine what the theme of this text was. So one person will be the writer. One person will make sure that your jobs are being completed and that your group is on task, okay? The question you're going to respond to is, what lesson did the people learn in this folktale? So think about the theme. You can also put some evidence that you noticed in the text. Maybe you want to relate it to the illustration that you were talking about. Maybe you want to relate it to a specific sentence or two that you saw in the text, and make sure when you do that, you write the page number so you can refer back with your response later. So they're trying to just like really dig deep into what's happening in the text. How can we apply that to the essential question that we're learning? They're able to connect it to the different skills that they're learning about. They're able to learn how to think deeply and really back up what they're saying. They're also learning how to collaborate with their partners. They're learning how to have those deeper conversations and agree and disagree with what someone else is saying. All right, so look in the text, try to find some text evidence. What do you think in the theme is?
Okay, so what is a lesson in the book? The theme? Okay. Yeah, the theme. Like to not be greedy or wasteful. In the text.
So the people
Like you get more than you need.
getting more stuff that they needed instead of one. Only getting one and saying thank you.
They get more than they need. Yeah, that's what you're trying to say.
Now we have to find evidence.
Our consequences for being greedy.
Okay. It says the lesson and theme, right? Yeah. On the board. I know, but the sky became angry because of the waste and the people inserted for his gifts. Yes. Wait. He's the high. It was also because the people try to take only what they want instead of just a nice little meal for them, so they only can take what they need instead of taking what they want. I highlighted it.
No worries on this.
When the sky went up, they had to work hard. They had to learn for so long to make food.
Exactly. So because they were kind of taking the sky for granted, the sky moved away and now they had to work hard.
And they're not farmers used to working hard.
Yes, they're not used to it. Awesome job, guys. Good job with your thinking. Make sure you get that down on your chart, okay? Amazing ideas, Jose.
If you're greedy, you'll never make it successful in life.
Yeah.
If someone gave you like something like a toy, and you like say thank you to them, they might give you more things again.
So I heard some amazing ideas. I'm going to ask that you go back to your group. I'm only going to share a couple just for time's sake. You guys were doing amazing. I was going around and listening to the conversations that you were having, and you were all pretty much on the same track, just using your own words and your thoughts to put it together. So awesome job with that. Yes.
I put if you're being greedy, you probably won't be successful.
Okay, maybe if you're being greedy, you won't be as successful. That's a good idea to share. So the final part of our activity today is you are going to be responding on paper, and you're going to be able to use the ideas that you created on your small concept map with your group, okay? So you have some ideas to get you started with what the theme of this text is, and you're going to be able to use it to make connections and apply it to your own life.
So the people learned not to be greedy because, like, if you be greedy, you might not like get anything because you've been greedy.
Yeah, you've been greedy. Like you almost took like everything. Everybody had one toy, but I took like 5, and then like the rest 5 people had nothing, so they felt bad, and then so I couldn't have anything because I been greedy. Yeah. So let's spell that.
I think deeper learning is really important because they're not just reading from a textbook. I think that reading from a textbook is like what I grew up remembering doing. I think it's important to like make connections to their lives and let them know why we're doing this. It's more about what can we pull out of the text? How can we learn from this text? How can we apply it to other things? Why is this so important?